we're going to be looking at the reactions of acids. And there is something that's rather confusing about this. I'm going to handle that today. And the confusing thing is, so at the top, you've got this this is what we call general equations. All right. When you have a metal and acid and you react them, you get a salt and hydrogen. Okay. Now, when you react a metal and an acid, metal oxide and acid, you get salt plus water. When you react a metal hydroxide and acid, you get salt plus water. And I think you're going to kind of see the patterns here. When we react to metal carbonate with an acid, we get salt, water, plus carbon dioxide. Ammonium acid, you will get a salt and a salt only. Right. So the problem you've got is, what is a definition of a salt? So one thing I said a lot in year 9 is what we say in English is very different to what we say in science. If I was to say to people, name me some salts, they turn around and say table salt, pink salt, Himalayan salt. Yeah, all right, fine. And if you spare me a second. I am trying to teach. That's my third time. So, apologies for that. The problem with it is that in English, when we talk about salt, and someone will be like, do you know what? I know what the chemical name for salt is. And it's what is it? I'm going to write a sentence out. And they go, the chemical name for salt, the chemical name for salt is sodium chloride. And loads of people go, wow, you know, if that was said by a 15-year-old, God, they're really good at chemistry. Yeah, this is not right. Right? It may sound right, but sodium chloride is one type of salt. There are thousands. Oops, I put sodium. It is sodium chloride. Right? Is one type of salt. Now, and what I mean by that is, if we turn around and say the chemical name for salt is sodium chloride, we're saying all salts are sodium chloride. They are not. Sodium chloride is one type of salt. And in today's lesson, you're going to learn how to name them. All right, so we're going to react things together. Okay, we're going to react sodium carbonate and nitric acid, sodium carbonate and hydrochloric acid, and things like that. And the way to name a salt is you start with the name of the metal first. One of these, most of the time, metal, 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 metal. I want to talk about ammonia at the end. Now, you start with the name of the metal, sodium. The second part of the name depends on the acid you're using. If you're using nitric acid, the last part of the name will always be nitrate. If you're using hydrochloric acid, the last part of the name will always be chloride. Sulfuric acid, the last part of the name will always be sulfate. I write with a pH because that's old school. And that's it. So coming back down to here, you start with the name of the metal, sodium. And then you add on the ion that will form from the acid. This will be sodium nitrate. The name is above it. This one will be sodium chloride. And this one over here will be sodium sulfate. Okay. They're all sodium because on the left-hand side, it says sodium. If it's nitric acid, they're all in nitrates, hydrochloric acid, or in chlorides, sulfuric acid, or in sulfates. So if I pick a random one here, the metal name is copper. This will be copper. The acid uses hydrochloric acid. This will be copper chloride. Okay. Now, the one I want you to be really careful about, you're now in year 10, so I can add a bit more. Ammonia. All right? Now, the reason being, before it reacts, it is called ammonia. Right? Once it reacts, it forms an ion, and it is called ammonium. This would be ammonium nitrate. That's it. Right? Okie dokie, your job is to finish this table. Once you finish that table, your job is to finish this table down here. All right? That's the plan for today, young ones.